Good day, grade 12s. We are going to be continuing with our cash flow statement. Just a little bit of revision from a previous lesson. What is a cash flow statement? It shows the movement of money in and out of a business over a period of time, and in our case, we're going to look at the financial year. Act 71 of the Companies Act of 2001 stipulates that a cash flow statement must be presented to the shareholders at the AGM, together with the four other documents, which are the income statement, the balance sheet, the auditor's report, and the director's report. Where are we going to get the information from to draw up this cash flow statement? We're going to look at the income statement. We're going to look at the balance sheet and its notes. And what's very important is remember that we are going to be comparing last year's figures with this year's figures. Here is the actual little reconciliation statement before tax and cash generated from operations. You will remember that we looked at depreciation and our interest expense, and we said that they were imputed expenses, which in our income statement presented as though they were expenses which had been paid for. But because they were imputed or non-cash transactions, we actually added the amounts back. And likewise with interest income, in the income statement, it reflected that money had been received, while money had not been received because the interest had been capitalized. So once the net profit has been reconciled, we now need to look at the changes in working capital. And so you will remember that working capital is my current assets minus my current liabilities. So that's what we're going to zoom in today and concentrate on today. I'm going to look at the inventory note. I'm going to look at trade and other receivables. However, I am going to exclude SARS. The reason for that is SARS is going to have its own little note, and so we do not include SARS with our trade and other receivables. Can you remember what makes up trade and other receivables? It's my net trade debtors, it's my accrued income, and my prepaid expenses. So those are the three items I'm going to be looking at in trade and other receivables. Likewise, in trade and other payables, I'm only going to be looking at my trade creditors, my income received in advance or my deferred income. Remember, both can be used, and my accrued expenses. Again, SARS is not going to go into the note and into my calculations, and neither is shareholders for dividends. Again, shareholders for dividends will have its own note. I've said that we are going to compare last year's figures with this year's figures. And please, you cannot just look at one year's figures. You have to look at both years' figures and draw conclusions from that. So let's have a look at our current assets. The first item in our current assets is our inventories. If I have a look at last year, the value of inventories was 36,000, and this year it's worth 40,000. Conclusion? Inventories has gone up by 4,000 rand. And if the inventories went up by 4,000 rand, the money must have flowed out. And so because money is flowing out, we are going to show that amount in brackets. Can you see here? I'm continuing with the reconciliation statement of the previous lesson, and we are now giving a new heading, Cash Effects of Changes in Working Capital. This amount we can only fill in once we've looked at inventories, trade and other receivables, and trade and other payables, and then we'll come back to this amount over here. I list my inventories. Inventories went up, which means money must have flowed out. Hence, the amount is in brackets. I move on to my trade and other receivables. I've got my trade debtors. Last year it was 46,000. This year it's 40,000. So the debtors have gone down. So if the debtors have gone down, it means that in 21 they owed 46,000, but here they are only owing 40,000. So we've got good debtors who are paying. However, I also have SARS income tax. Do you remember I said we are not going to include SARS income tax in this calculation? So if I look at my 46,000 and it's down to 40,000, if I subtracted that, I would see that my debtors have gone down by 6,000 Rand. So I've simply said that here, the trade debtors have decreased by 6,000, which means that there has been an inflow of money because the debtors paid their debt. Let's continue with our little reconciliation statement. And here in yellow, I have shown trade and other receivables, 6,000 Rand. Please note, there are no brackets. Why? Money has flowed into the business. Now we're going to look at trade and other payables. So I've got my trade creditors. Last year, 40,000. This year, 35,000. And then remember, we are not going to include SARS income tax in this calculation, and neither are we going to include shareholders for dividends. So let's go back to our trade creditors. Last year, they were 40,000. This year, 35,000. So there's been a decrease in our creditors, which actually means we have paid our creditors. And if we've paid our creditors, money must have flowed out of the business. And so trade creditors have decreased by 5,000, which means there has been an outflow of money because creditors were partially paid the amount that was owing to them. Please note why I've said partially, because we still owe them 35,000 Rand. So we only paid part of the 40,000 Rand from last year to this year. Let's continue with our reconciliation note. Again, the amount for trade and other payables is in yellow, and you will see that I have it in brackets because money has flowed out of the business. So if I have a look at this, 4,000 Rand flowed out to purchase inventories, 5,000 flowed out to pay my creditors. Therefore, in total, 9,000 Rand flowed out of the business. However, 6,000 came in. And so that would give me a net change in working capital of 3,000 Rand. The next step that I would do is I would take that amount plus that amount. So if I add those two amounts, it's going to give me the answer over here. And so I have now done a reconciliation. Balance sheet notes. If there's been an increase in assets, this indicates that money has flowed out. So let's think of our inventories. And so inventories are assets, and so money has flowed out. So there we have our assets. Money has flowed out and of the business, and the increased amount will be shown in brackets. So that's just our little conclusion with regard to assets. So let's have a look at liabilities. If a liability has decreased, it indicates that money has flowed out of the business, and the decrease in the amount will be shown in brackets. Just the opposite of the assets. So what I've done here is I've done a little table for you, and you can learn this. So I've said if assets increase, the amount will be in brackets. If assets decrease, no brackets. With liabilities, it's just the opposite because it's also on the opposite side of the equation. So if my liabilities increase, it simply means I owe my creditors more money. However, if I pay my creditors, money's flowing out. And so when liabilities decrease, money flows out, and so the amount will be in brackets. So importantly, let's just have a look at that again. So if assets increase, money's flowed out. If liabilities decrease, money has flowed out. So it's actually quite simple. For homework, I want you to learn the format of this note. The reconciliation between the net profit before tax and cash generated from operations. And we'll meet next time and we'll take cash flow statements one step further. Bye now.